training. So how are we going to get prepped for the swim run event? So it's a good place to start by just talking about the variable distances. So with Swimrun, in a combined, over the course of the race, you're probably going to be doing about 2 to 4 miles of swimming and 6 to maybe 20 miles of running. So again, just kind of sending home the message that this is an endurance event and you have to train like it's an endurance event. What's very fortunate about most people that are drawn to doing swim run, they're probably excelling or training at least on a consistent basis in one of those 2 disciplines already. So I would imagine that anybody looking at this video probably already has a pretty solid base of running or a pretty solid base of swimming, or if you're a triathlete, you probably are continuously doing both at the same time. What I would advocate for sure is bumping up the amount of trail running you're doing as far as your running component. Trail really does have different demands than road running. I love it because of those different demands. I like the variability of the terrain. I like that I'm not just repetitively using the same muscles the same time. And frankly, for me, it's all about just being outside in someplace beautiful where I can just check out and enjoy my surroundings and not think about traffic, cars, people talking, and all those other things. But definitely getting your trail running bumped up would be highly recommended. And also doing trail running that certainly involves some hills. So do scope out your race, kind of look at their information online and get a sense of what degree of hill climbing is going to be necessary, what the technicality of the terrain is, so that you're practicing fast feet going downhill, practicing looking, 10 to 15 meters ahead of you to really ascertain where you're going to be going on the race. Just getting those really specific technical skills for trail running nailed down is great. As far as the swimming is concerned, you're probably going to want to bump up your longer sets in the swimming. So getting your yardage up, but also focusing on not just doing hundreds on intervals, but really getting into doing 400s, 500s, 1000s to practice that lengthy duration of the swim is going to give you a real boost when it comes out there in your middle of the water and you've got quite a ways ahead of you. Also practicing your sighting. So sighting is the term for being able to swim, look up, and gauge where you're going, because you're going to have markers out there on the swim course. Typically they're going to be big inflatables that are marking where you might be turning and where you might be kind of exiting on the shore, but really practicing being able to get your head up, etc., to see all that is a great portion as well. So you can kind of train those 2 things independently, but it's also important to put them together so that you're getting acclimated to those transitions that are going to occur between running, hopping in the water, hopping back out of the water. Also practicing that equipment, like that pool buoy, shifting it over, practicing getting your, not floundering while you're trying to get your paddles on and get your goggles on. Know what order you're going to put things on. Are you going to get your goggles on first and then put on your paddles? Probably, because otherwise you're going to be like a duck trying to put your goggles on with your paddles on. So thinking about little small things like that is going to make it less stressful during the race itself. For me, with my partners, we didn't have that many opportunities to get together and swim side by side and run side by side. We tried to put it all together, but just with children, professional life, and everything else, it became very hard for us to do those training sessions together. I would recommend it. I think we did fine without having a real practice session, but I think it would give you that much more confidence going into the race to do at least a partial practice session of doing that in tandem with each other. We did do some pool swimming side by side, which was great. Good things to do if you are primarily a pool swimmer and don't have the opportunity to do open water swimming is if you can do your longer distance swims like your 500s or your 800s and actually do what is called T-swimming, which means not actually getting to the wall, either doing a flip turn or stopping and turning around, but actually kind of turning around at the T under the water in that nice black line that you're seeing underneath there, so you're actually swimming continuously without stopping at the wall, because that's going to better mimic those longer distance swims. I'm sure the pool that I swim in hates me, but I also practice with my shoes at the pool as well, so I would get in with my whole get up and I would do my swims, and then I would jump out and I would run around the pool deck multiple laps and then hop back in the water and do that again. What's good about putting those 2 components together is it gives you an opportunity to kind of you get a little bit dizzy when you're first coming out of the water, kind of going from horizontal to vertical. So just kind of getting acclimated to that sense of just a little bit of dizziness, and also just kind of getting the sense of getting back into your stride and then hopping back in again. I think race preparation is always the same, where you're just trying to learn how it feels so that you're not surprised by anything on race day. It makes it that much more enjoyable.
Awesome.